displaying data on a line plot. Now, this is one of those lessons. First of all, it's not in the correct spot according to your MyMath book. According to your MyMath book, we just finished chapter 9, adding and subtracting fractions. Now we're going into line plots, and there's a reason. It's not put in the same place as in the MyMath book, but since our line plots in 5th grade deal with adding and subtracting fractions, I think this is a much better spot for it to fit. So a little bit out of order, but don't panic, it will be fine. In any case, MyMath only gives one lesson to line plots because you've done some line plot work in 3rd and 4th grade, and you're going to need to remember that, and I'll help you remember that. But I also think that we need a little more time with line plots in order to understand them for 5th grade, because in 5th grade, our line plots deal with fractions, not with whole numbers like you did in 3rd and 4th grade. But a lot of what you've learned then will come back to you and it will help you. So I'm going to show you an example. And in this example, I've made up, this is pretend, see? This is pretend data. This is data for Mrs. Downs' Term 1 GPAs. And there they are, a whole bunch of them. What does that even mean? Who knows? Well, you may be familiar with a grade point average or GPA. The most you can get is a 4 out of 4. That's an A. So on your report cards for every term, you have a GPA that is calculated for all of your grades. So here's a bunch of pretend GPAs for a fictitious term 1. There they are. Wow, that's a lot of numbers. What does that tell me as a teacher? What does that tell me? Not a heck of a lot. So we're going to take this data and we're going to make a picture out of it so that I can figure out how my fictitious class is doing. So you may recall with a line plot, the first thing you do is you steal the title right there. And you make your line plot, which is really a line. That's why it's called a line plot. So here we have our line plot. There's the title, which I took right from the table of data. And here's my line. Isn't that great? Now, the first thing I need to do is look at my data and decide what numbers are going to go under here. That is called my scale. Whenever you have numbers along a graph, whether it be a line graph or a line plot or whatever you're doing, it's called a scale, and it's very, very important. So the first thing to figure out what numbers are going to go down there is you look at your data. So let's take a look at this data. And we're going to discover the range. The range means what's the smallest one and what's the largest one. That will tell me what my scale will be. So in this data, my smallest is a 1 out of 4. Ooh, that's not very good. And my largest is a 4 out of 4. Perfect. So that tells me that my scale will start at 1/4. And it will go all the way up to 4/4, like that. Looking at the rest of my data, I can see that I'm going to need a couple more in there, 2/4 and 3/4. That is my range. Now I'm all ready to start plotting the data. And this is where a lot of mistakes are made. And here's an easy way not to make those mistakes. First thing you do, look at your data. It all comes back to your data, and count up the number of data points you're going to have. How many do I have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 gives me 24. That means if I plot my data correctly, I should have 24 data points on my line plot. That's my first check. Here's my second check. When I plot each one on my data, my line plot, then I exit off. Just let me get rid of that. Okay, then I stroke it off of my chart. Here's what I mean. So every time, and I'll start right here, and I'm going to, my first observation is a 4 out of 4. That means I put 1 X on the 4 out of 4. Like that. Once I do that, I cross out that first data point like this. It's not difficult, but it sure does help you when you're plotting large amounts of data like this. Now, another way to do it, which is easier, is to count up the number of 4s you have. In this case, I've started at 4 out of 4. So I'm going to count up the number of 4s. So I have 1, maybe I can do that so you can see it. Okay, yeah, I can. So I have 1, which I've already done. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 altogether. That means I need 9 X's on my 4 out of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh boy, 8, 9. It goes way up into my title. Sorry about that. Next, I'm going to look at the 3s. I'm going to count those up and cross them off as I count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. I have 8 3s, so I need 8 X's on my line plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like that. Next, I'm going to look at my 2s. I'm going to count those up and cross them off as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 X's on my line plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far, so good. Now I'm going to look for my 1s. 1, 2. Okay, so 2 X's. 1, 2. So here's my line plot, but I'm not done yet. To make sure that I didn't leave out any of the observations or put them anywhere where they shouldn't be, I'm actually going to count my X's. How many should I have? Remember? 24 observations in this. So as I count, you know what I like to do? I like to write the number down on my line plot in a circle. I'll show you what I mean. So if I count my first 2, there we have 2. Then 2 out of 4, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So then, that's what I mean. I'll write the number of X's on top of the line plot and circle it. That just tells me that's the total number of X's. So if I add them up, here's what I get. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 9 is 25. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have 25. How many should I have? 24. So now we go back. And the first thing we do is we count them up. Well, we had 6 times 4 is 24. So that's correct. So there's something wrong on my line plot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. I counted 6 when it should have been 5. So I can correct that. It's real easy to make a mistake, but it's real easy to catch it too. So I've corrected my line plot, and there it is. That's how you create a line plot with fractions. It's really no different than creating a line plot with whole numbers. However, in the next video, video number 2, we're going to start analyzing line plots. And here's where things get a little